last in a long line of detectives, Joe Jaffa, finally had a case. To uncover the mystery of how a dead body disappeared from its tomb 3 whole days after it was put there. I was now free from the boredom that threatened to paralyze my mind, free from the prison that was my office, and free to venture out into the unknown. The facts of the case were this. There was an empty tomb, 2 guards, a crucifixion, a Roman prefect, a Jewish high priest, and an arrest in a garden. Now this last part struck me as odd. Gardens are walled-in, private places. So what was Jesus up to in there? And how did the soldiers know that's where he'd be? I decided to take a look for myself. I had envisaged leaping over the walls, but as I drew closer, I noticed that the gate was unlocked and open. Was this a coincidence, or was somebody expecting me? Inside, a trail of footprints led me into the olive grove. I followed the path, and that's when I heard a voice coming out of the darkness. "Hello, detective." I spun around, and there, hidden in the shadows, was the outline of a man. "Who are you?" I queried. "I am Malchus, servant to the high priest," the man replied. "I am of no importance, but what I have seen may prove to be of great value." I shall now read the testimony of Malchus verbatim from the notes I took that night. "You see, what you don't know, detective, is that Jesus was not just arrested, he was betrayed. Betrayed by one of his 12 disciples to my employer. For 30 pieces of silver, the disciple Judas led me, several officials, and a detachment of soldiers here to the Garden of Gethsemane. And with the prearranged signal of a kiss, Judas marked out the one we were after. Then one of the disciples attacked me and cut off my ear. But Jesus said, 'No more of this.' He touched my ear, and it was healed. Then Jesus said to us, 'Every day I was with you, teaching at the temple courts, and you did not arrest me. But the scriptures must be fulfilled.' Then the disciples scattered, and the soldiers arrested Jesus, leaving me alone in this garden with a new ear and a head full of thoughts. Thoughts that keep drifting back to what he said about fulfilling the scriptures. For the scriptures are the summation of our history, the history of Israel. How can one man fulfill all of it? And yet I cannot rid myself of the thought that the betrayal perpetrated in this garden is in some way connected to the first betrayal in the Garden of Eden. A garden planted by the Lord, and in which he placed Adam and Eve to take care of it. But then there was the fall. Adam and Eve were deceived by the serpent and ate fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, fruit the Lord had commanded them not to eat. For this treason the Lord God banished them from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which they had been taken. I don't know how it's connected, but truly I tell you, detective, the scriptures are the key to unlocking this mystery." And so ends the testimony of Malchus, servant to the high priest.